What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat. We're here today playing Nether. This is going to be sort of a little one-off series. I've wanted to play this game for quite some time, and it's made by Phosphor Studios. Nether is a survival horror game, much like DayZ or Sir, You're Being Hunted, except this one has a lot more in common with DayZ or, you know, infected survivor stories if you had to suffer through that game recently. But in any case, there's a lot of people on this map, up to 64, and we have to survive without getting our asses shot off. I have a limited access beta key just for the weekend, so I figured I'd bring you guys along while I play. I am not too familiar with the game, but I'm hoping we'll at least have a little bit of fun while we run around, so it is what it is. Now over there, what you'll see that little fire over there? Those locations, these big smoke columns, are where the loot is at. Like, all the good loot is next to those smoke columns. This creates sort of a funnel system where people will all be gathered around, camping these areas, causing all kinds of problems, and that's one of the things I'd like to see change, is actually just get rid of that smoke and make the item placement completely and totally random so that you can't camp it out all day and all night, or at least so that it'll be a little bit more difficult to camp it out. This over here is a tad risky, but these tents sometimes have good things in them. So what is the point of this game? Well, the point of the game is to survive for as long as you possibly can. You can play with friends, you can play alone, but the game is definitely easier with a few people to come along with you. Now, what are the enemies in this game? There are AI-controlled enemies, and they're called the Nether. And it doesn't look like there's any loot up here, which is a very, very bad thing. That means that somebody's been here recently and managed to loot it out before we arrived. Let's see if we can get up off the roof, although we are reasonably safe from gunfire up here. And if we can get the hell off the roof, we will have a look around, maybe go check that campsite down at the bottom of these stairs. I don't know. We'll have a look and figure it out. Let me jump on up and in here. Now, the game is in very, very early access right now, which means there are a lot of beta bugs. There are lots of random things like glitching through walls, all kinds of crazy malfunctions. But from what you can tell, the game looks reasonably decent. It's definitely got an aura going along with it, and I don't intend this to be much of a review. It's more just sort of my impressions as I've played this weekend. I've got about 3.5 hours in. I've found loads of guns. I've died tons and tons of times. So I think I've got the general experience on lockdown right now. Let's go have a look at this camp before we go much further. And I feel like, to continue where I left off, I don't want to stop too abruptly, but I do feel like the game is reasonably decent. I like it. I'm not sure if I would pay money for it, but I do like it. So, as a little bit of a surprise, I just wanted to do an extra series. I was getting a little bit, you know, I was like, well, I need to record this, I need to record that, but I sort of feel like recording a couple episodes in Nether, so that's what I decided I would do, because I've been enjoying the game, and it's more fun with friends. So here we are. Let's check this house out, although I don't think there's going to be anything in here. At the bottom right corner, you'll see the basic UI. The top number, the 1000 out of 1000, that's our hit points, obviously. Underneath that, you'll see a water bottle icon. That's how much sustenance we have. Both food and water feed into that meter. To the left of that is our sprintometer. And to the left of that is our compass, which is a very, very useful tool. Once we find a little bit better a cover, we are wide out in the open right now, and it is late. I'm recording this very late at night. So our chances of being disturbed by random griefers are pretty low. There's not a ton of people on the server right now. I think there's only 10 out of 64, because I did want to showcase the survival stuff. Ooh, yeah, there we go. So let's be very careful while we're here. We're going to get these crunchy bins. And this place is going to be a death trap if there's a bunch of people here. There's a Grim Reaper hand axe. Let's take that, because a weapon is going to be very necessary as we get further along into the game. There's also a baseball bat there, but we'll grab that in just a second. Let's keep low. The baseball bat looks like it's bugged. Unless I can get it from this side. Yeah, the baseball bat is bugged. So like many of the free-roaming, open-world survival games, there is a lot of buggy stuff going on. You'll get used to it as you play. Picking up items that are on shelves and things can be very finicky. As you can see, they don't really want to loot, and that's disappointing because that's 9mm ammo. And should we find a gun around anywhere, it's going to be useful. We'll take the Bromax energy drink so that we can bro to the max. Canned food, some bottled water. Well, we've got really, really good supplies so far. My experience with the game as of yet has been that either you have way too many guns and way too much ammunition, but you have no food, so you starve. There's money sitting right there, but it's sort of taunting us. We're not allowed to pick it up. Everything on the shelves looks like it's bugged right now, unfortunately. But there is 9mm on the floor over here. We do have limited carrying space. There are backpacks and things like that that you'll want to accumulate over the course of the game. There's $20 right there. What is the money for? There's a safe zone in the center of the map, and I'll show it to you in just a little bit once we're safer, but we're not very safe right now, so I'm definitely going to hold off on that until we find a location where I can hunker down and explain some of those other aspects. Okay, what you just heard was the sound of somebody around here, so we want to get the hell out of Dodge right now. We do have a superior hand weapon, but what if they have a gun? Then we will find ourselves rapidly in trouble. I think jumping 3 times is the universal sign for not hostile, but most people I've seen so far have shot me well before I've gotten past the second hop. So if that's the best you can do, you can at least die hopping, trying to be a good guy, but in general, being a good guy in this game is a terrible idea. So who are the bad guys in this game? Let's talk about that since I sort of started the topic up and then abandoned it. The bad guys are very unique in this game. They're called the Nether, and they've conquered the Earth. Obviously, look at this. We've been wiped out. We've had a really bad day. There's trash everywhere. I just stepped in a condom. Even though I have no clue who would be fornicating under these circumstances, apparently somebody's getting them in. I don't blame them. If it's the end of the world, you gotta get your rocks off where you can. But as you can see, there's refuse. They have clearly won. And the Nether are these teleporting, wormhole conjuring critters that have very ugly visages, or very ugly faces. They are not good to look at. They are quite hideous. But they teleport around, they bite you, they spit acid on you, and they suck. And we haven't seen any as of yet, but when I find one, I will most assuredly point him out. They deal a considerable amount of damage. They can do a lot of pain doing, or pain dealing. Let's look around this building really fast. I don't see anything. Oh, and I just glitched through that. That's okay. Let's keep on having a look around. These tiny bathrooms. I don't know who these bathrooms are built for, but apparently whatever city we're in has a massive population of little folk who need little tiny bathrooms. I thought I heard the sound of a Nether there for a second. They are around, and the reason you won't see very many of them is because just one of them can be a major problem for you if you don't have a gun. Let's check out this ambulance. Anything with blinking lights tends to have loot nearby. Nothing. There's also this guy named Mescalito on this server who's been sneaking around, just El Mescalito. And he's been annihilating everybody, and that's the general bitching you're seeing over on the left in the chat column. Let's see here. Nothing back in that corner. Let's jump up on the roof. And once we get into a little bit better of a covered location, at least something where it'll take somebody a little bit of effort to get at us, we'll hunker down. So this is what the map looks like right now. It's fairly large. This is a little bit deceitful. It'd probably take you about 10 minutes to walk from right here all the way out to here. Maybe a little bit more, depending. And the map is going to be extended out. You see this entire area? This is what the developers are working on right now. It's a very ambitious project. It goes out quite a ways. But what they've got already is more than enough for, I'd say, up to 20 players. But beyond that, it starts to get real crowded real fast. Essentially, it turns into TDM after that. It turns into sort of a battlefield situation where everybody's running around spraying bullets at everything. You can't go more than 2 seconds without finding another person. There's no loot left to be had because it's all been scooped and chauffeured away. Is there anything up here? We could really use a firearm right now. I don't see any guns or anything of that nature. Damn. What about that train station down there? I can't tell if that's something over there. And my big problem is that this game, when you press the shift bar, it makes you sprint forward. Well, I've gotten used to the shift bar zooming in my character in Mountain Blade, so I've run off of roofs about 30 times now, which is incredibly embarrassing because it announces it over the whole server that you just committed suicide like a jackass. I see glowies over there, so let's see what's going on. There's a bearded axe of some sort. I'm going to keep what we have. Now, why would you pick up extra stuff in this game? Well, back at the safe zone, there's a vendor, which allows you to both sell items that you already have, and there's also a bank where you can store the stuff you found so that after you die, you can just go back to the safe zone, grab a couple guns, and be back on your merry way. Now, you do lose everything when you die, so it is high-stakes gaming. Let me pick you up. 12-gauge shotgun shells. The shotgun is not my favorite weapon in this game, but if we find one, I will deeply lament it. Yeah, I'll deeply lament it if I haven't picked up the ammunition, because ammo is incredibly scarce in this game. I think the most ammo I've ever had was a fully loaded assault rifle and maybe 3 clips, and that was just after running around all day picking up bullets and stuff like that. Now, that may be due to the fact that I don't know what I'm doing, so I may be gathering instruments and implements very inefficiently. But at the same time, I think even if you're running around gathering stuff, there's a pretty good chance that ammunition is not so common. I think we already came down in here, maybe? No, this is a separate building. Having a little bit of run on here where everything looks the same to me. Okay, so we've got a wide open street down there. Let's head down the fire escape. You can fall a reasonable distance. You can jump probably 3 stories and not take any damage, so use that to your advantage when you're playing this game if you do decide to pick it up. It's fun. I mean, it's tough to play these sorts of games without comparing them to other survival games because, let's face it, the market right now is fairly well stocked with these sorts of titles. There are a lot. Oh, there's another over there. You see him? He's kind of that gimpy looking fellow that's howling at the sky. He's not going to be able to beat in on us, but let's continue moving around because I would hate to get shot while standing still. We've got a large looking church over there, a cathedral. Over here we've got a supermarket, so I'm going to check out the supermarket. Anything with a light on it tends to be where loot will gather. So if the lights are on or if the lights are flashing, for example if you see an ambulance or a fire truck around, probably a good place to pick up a bit of loot. Oh, there's one right there. Those are the ones you've really got to be worried about. That little bastard right there, he's a spitter, and additionally I think he summons other guys to help him out. I haven't been able to test out what the different mobs do too empirically as of yet. It's been one of those things where most of the time when I find a monster, I'm like, and I take off running, and I hope that they just don't chew on me too much. I don't really sit there and be like, alright, so how do your stats look? I'm not trying to fill out the Pokédex on Nether, the Nether Dex, if you will. I'm not trying to fill one of those out. Most of the time I'm simply trying to survive. Looks like we have an impact over here between 2 vehicles. I have found a ton of guns in the back of those military trucks before. I think I'm gonna risk it. Let's have a look-see. That Nether over there is a problem. Oh, there is. There's a gun on the ground. Let's grab that. And at any moment, expect to hear a zip, zip, zip that will take me out. A Lopez 45S. Hello, Lopez 45S. Can I loot you, Lopez 45S? There we are. Oh, yeah. Now we're stacked up. See, now we're good to go. There's another Grim Reaper right there. But I don't think I'm going to bring it with me. I could do it if I wanted to be a jerk and deprive other people of the loot. Looks like we got 45 ACP in here. What is this stocked with? Ooh, this uses 45 ACP. I am so happy. Alright, so at least now we have the chance to return fire, which is always my big argument about survival games. It always sucks getting nailed with a round by some sniper from way downfield when you have nothing to return fire with. But if you can at least... Oh, we've been found. Time to run away. Oh, there he is right there. And as you can see and hear, they do teleport around. Where is he? No, 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 no. Hey, Nether. Nether. None of that. And every time he screams, I think he's bringing in more homies. They are incredibly difficult to lose. Okay, so we killed one off. Now we just gotta hope that no more show up. Although, I just heard the sound of teleportation, so I don't think that's gonna be a possibility. He just tried to get me from behind. He's having trouble. I do want to loot the remainder of that caravan if I can get away with it. Leaving this stuff... Okay, so he's down now. And I don't hear the sound of teleportation. I also don't hear the sound of anybody else firing guns either. Which is always good. Sometimes you have the misfortune of hearing other people firing weapons right around the time you're firing yours because everybody in the area now knows that we're here, which is super scary, considering there are people that just camp the hell out of these servers and have all the best gear as of right now. We just want to keep our heads low. I would really like to find a sidearm at this point, so that's another thing we want to focus on, is maybe getting our hands on something like a 9mm maybe. There's nothing in the back of that wagon. And I believe it may be time to get out of here. So I'm going to creep slowly. Now you may have noticed that I leveled up. That's another thing that I wanted to mention. It looks like there's a fire on top of that building over there. Let's go have a look. We're going to go up on the top of this building right here. This game is incredibly beneficial to snipers. This game, if you like sniping, there are nooks and crannies everywhere for you to hide in and just snipe to your little heart's content, your little black heart's content. I'm going to go up to the roof and we'll see if we can pin down the location of that other fire zone, because we looted the hell out of that one and it worked out fairly well in our favor. Well, we've got a big fire over there. There's a little fire over there. Oh, it's on top of that building. Okay, so the back access looks like it's right there. Let's jump down off this roof and let's have a little look around. We can never have enough ammunition or weaponry, so if we can find ourselves a couple guns, that'll put us in a good position to make our way towards the safe house and store our weapons for later. Although, in my case, it doesn't really matter because my beta key is probably going to expire pretty soon. I'm going to try and keep an eye out. I've only been killed by other players twice. Most of the time it's the Nethers that get me. So over here, we need to... Yeah, you see that crevice right there? That was one of my earliest deaths, as I figured you could just walk over that. You cannot. You will fall through, and it will hurt a ton. If we get lucky, there will be some loot over here. Although these rooftop locations don't tend to really have anything that I want most of the time. We can, however, camp out right here and see if we spy any other players coming down the boulevard. The boulevard. Anything? No. I wouldn't feel too good about engaging another person anyways. I always feel guilty when I kill people in this game. I think I played this game for all of... Oh, I don't know. I played this game for all of 10 minutes before I had murdered 2 other players. But it wasn't my fault, I swear. I had just found an Uzi and I was super stoked because I found an Uzi on my first run. And right after that, I found 2 players that just had knives. They had just started out completely and totally clean. They were bare and naked. They had nothing to offer. And we stood there for a moment like gunslingers. There was 2 of them with knives and me with an Uzi. And I had to make a snap decision. Well, I didn't fire at them. I tried to indicate that I was friendly via chat, and then one of them ran up and stabbed me, so I Uzi'd him in the face. The other one then responded to this new perceived threat by trying to stab me as well, and so I Uzi'd him around the crotch level and murdered 2 human beings. Not in cold blood, in warm blood, because it was self-defense, I swear. Let's open up our menu right now. And once we've got our menu open, let me have a look here. There we go. I've got to be careful about all this because the key that I have bound to Fraps is the key that, unfortunately, records the episodes as well. We want to go to our character menu, and you'll see here we've leveled up. We've gotten a stat point. You've got these rudimentary trees that are available. I think I'm going to put points into... Since we have guns, we might as well put the points into guns. And we've unlocked Steady Aim. Unlocks the ability to hold our breath by pressing left alt. Will allow for more accurate long-distance shots. I'll take it. Fantastic. We can jump down right there. Oh, we took a little bit of damage. I thought we could make that. It seems like, whatever. Oh no. So that big dude right there is a major issue for us too. I forget what he does, but I think he leads a bunch of other little bastards around who have the ability to really jam up your day. They can throw a wrench into things very, very badly. Let's go back around. Yeah, we're going to go back around the alley. And I'm going to stay low because I don't want this thing to know I'm here. It can teleport through walls and whatnot. Everything can. They open up those little wormholes. You guys didn't get a good feel for it, I don't think, in that last fight. Simply because, you know, inside a building, I think they're still probably working on the pathfinding. So, inside buildings, they tend to just kind of hop around, DayZ style. There's a fence back there, and we can't hop fences. Well, we may have hit the end of the trail on this end of the map. it looks as though this building has cars parked in it, and I recognize some of these car models as previously having loot, although in most cases I think the car models that you really want to look out for are fire trucks and ambulances. We'll still have a look around, because why not? We've got time. Well, I was wrong. So let's clear on out before we get trapped up in here. And as always, we gotta keep an eye out for other players. So we're gonna be checking all of our corners very, very carefully, except for that one that was behind me. We're not gonna check that one because we trust that corner. That corner has advanced his status in our eyes. He's at least friendly, and so to that corner we say, hi do. As always, I generally recommend that you stay inside of buildings. And holding a gun is sort of, in many ways, holding a gun is a good idea and a bad idea simultaneously. And I'll explain my reasoning. If you have a gun and you're running around, that pretty much tells everybody that they want to kill you so that they can take that gun, especially if they don't have one. However, not having the gun out indicates that you're defenseless. So you've got to decide between proving that you've got good loot to take or trying to hide it and people figuring that you're defenseless and they're just going to kill you anyways for the funsies of it. I hate crossing these streets. Makes me feel nervous every time. I'm not seeing any smoke clouds that I'm... Those big smoke clouds right there, those are for helicopter crashes and things of that nature. And they are really, really, really risky. We can go check it out though. We're getting close to the end of the episode anyways, so maybe we'll put our lives on the line for some massive loot here. I could use a pistol anyways. Our food meter's looking really low at the moment too, so let me drop down into these bushes, and once we're hidden, or at least sort of hidden, I'm going to open up my inventory and let's eat away at some of these supplies. So we're going to drink the bottles of water to give us some extra inventory space, so that once we get over here we can pick up stuff. There is vendor loot. There is definitely vendor trash in this game, so you can find things like cigarette packs, chewing gum packs, all kinds of stuff just like that. And if you can get them back to the safe house, you can sell them for 35 to 50 bucks a pop. And to put that in perspective, bullets cost $25 or so. So a couple of those loot items, if you take them back to base, you can get yourself almost an unlimited amount of ammo if you're good about it. Alright, so this we want to be really, really careful about. It looks like we've got one nether. I don't see any movement. Let's get low, and if we can get close enough, I don't see any glowies, which is a bad thing, because we just took all the effort to come over here, and a lack of glowies around something like this that's just like, hey, guess what, assholes, there's loads and loads of loot here, maybe you should all come dogpile and fight each other for it. I'd prefer there at least be loot here so that I don't feel like an idiot once I arrive. Unfortunately, an idiot I do feel like, because there's nothing here. That also indicates that there may be somebody in the radius of this thing. Oh, and I just picked up that nether. Damn it. Alright, let's book it. Where is he? Oh, and there's a crawler. We'll kill him. Alright, now he's down. We're gonna keep on running. Let me reload while we move. Hip fire is really accurate in this game. At least in my experience it has been, so don't stress too much about hip firing things to death. It does work. Yeah, and we're just causing more problems for ourselves. I'm gonna get my axe out here, and we're gonna kill this last guy with an axe. Okay, so we took him out stealthily. We're alright, we didn't take much damage from that. We only lost 70 HP, which, in the large scheme of things, is not so bad. I've lost dozens and dozens of HP on fights like that. The other benefit is that it allowed us to level up. The downside, we've gone through all of our bullets. So as you can see, let me pull out a gun here. Yeah, we got 3 rounds left, which is enough to kill a player if I can land headshots. But for now, we'll probably want to find ourselves at least a few things to restock on before we go much further. Have a look around the backside of this. Oh, damn it. I am the worst player ever. Oh, and there he is. And we've killed him. Okay, so I should probably get a little bit lower then. We've been attracting way too much attention as of lately. He said as he sprinted across the residential street. But at the same time, you need to level up on something. I think I just heard a nether on the other side of that fence, so let's be careful here. Nothing over there. We need a goal. We need to figure something out here. I don't see any targets of interest right now, which is a scary feeling. We have plenty of food, so we should be alright for the long run. If we have to run around and find stuff, there's a monster running over there. Whether or not he's locked onto an individual remains to be seen, but they don't tend to run around like that unless they've got somebody in their sights, so we'll want to continue being careful. Waiting with bated breath to figure out what's going to happen to us. I think he's onto us. Okay, so we handled him. I think I'm going to break off the episode here. My name is Splattercat, thanks for hanging out with me. This game is called Nether and it's made by Phosphor Games. It's a pretty sweet little game if you can get past the bugs and some of the other interesting things. There's a little bit of lag when you pull the trigger. You guys can't see it when I'm firing a gun, or maybe you can, but when I click there's a little bit of a delay between when I click and when the gun actually fires. That's a weird thing and it really throws me off, but other than that the game's been fun. I'll probably do a couple more episodes of this. This is not, I want to repeat, or I might want to say for the first time, this is not going to be a full series. We're not going to do like 100 episodes of this. I may do 2 or 3 just to show the game off, have a little fun with you guys, and that'll be that. So I'll see you guys next time. Take care out there, everybody, and farewell.